What's up everyone, it's a Knife Style here, and today I'm going to be doing a video on my knife collection. I do this video pretty much once a year. It's probably going to be a pretty lengthy video, so I'm going to try and keep my rambling to a minimum. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started because I don't really want to waste much time. I'm going to start with my more expensive knives or my nicer ones, and then kind of move to the more budget ones because I know the ones people really want to see are the nicer ones. So let's start with my Chris Reeve knives. This is the Sebenza 21 with an Insingo blade, black micarta handle scales. This is probably my favorite knife right here. It still holds the crown in my collection. I really like the Sebenza. It's great. The 21, such a good knife. I just like everything about it. This will run you about $550. Very expensive. I think it's funny if someone new is watching this and they're just like, what in the world? Yeah, that's gonna be weird. But you knife guys know that watch me, that's not crazy. This is another Chris Reeve knife. This is small Sebenza, plain Jane 21 Insingo blade. Both of mine, or all my Chris Reeve knives, are S35 VN. I carry this one probably the most. Really like it. I think the smalls, especially small plain, are like 350, 375 maybe. I got this used, but yeah, really like the small 21. And then my last Chris Reeve knife, this one I probably carry the least. It's my Untitled. Not that I don't like it, I just honestly don't carry it that much. Really cool looking knife. I love the frag pattern on here. It's not really a frag pattern, but the milling pattern that they do on it. It's just a cool knife. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say about it. One of the best looking knives I own. But yep, there's the Untitled. That's about $450. Really great knife. And then let's go to my fixed blades now. So I have 3 of them. I've just kind of got into the custom fixed blade scene. But my first one, this is from Alex Steingraber. This is the Sasquatch in M4. He grinds these really thin with a really high HRC. And this is probably my go-to fixed blade when I just need to get cutting done because it's so thin. It holds an edge for a really long time. Super comfortable. Really enjoy using this knife. It probably carries, I carry it probably less than I just got these new fixed blades, so I haven't given this one much pocket time recently, but it sure does get a lot of use. Let's move on to my next one. This one is from ZJL Knives. He's a newer custom maker that I just discovered. This is the Arches model, and I really like this knife. Super cool look. Kind of gives that like that Ronin Spyderco and that Yojimbo kind of look. That fighting style of knife, even though it is more of an EDC size. Really nice blade. Really enjoy this knife, and it looks great. A lot of these custom knives, just minimal branding, very simple. Really like how this micarta looks. Overall, really cool knife. Now let's move on to my newest fixed blade. I haven't showed this on the channel yet. This is from Jacob Creates on Instagram. This is the Chickadee. It's a pretty small knife, but I just recently got it. This is in MagnaCut, so my first experience with MagnaCut. I have been carrying this and using this for the past week, I'd say. Like it so far. Cool little knife. It is smaller, on the smaller side for me, but yeah, it is my newest fixed blade. Excited to get a couple more sharpenings and some more use on MagnaCut. Now let's move on to some of my more miscellaneous brands. We got ZT. This is the 0562 tie. This is the only ZT I own. I've had this for a long time. This was probably my first, I'd say, nice knife. Yeah, this was probably, I think this was $290 when I got it, and I don't think I'd had a knife that had broken that $200 price point yet. But, you know, this ZT, the build quality is pretty good on it. Wish it was thinner behind the edge. But some ZTs have had issues with lock failure. This one, don't have any issues with it. Designed by Rick Hinderer, cool knife. Run you about $290 at the 300-ish right now. Now we got a Microtech. This is the LUDT. The LUDT is a great knife, super thin behind the edge. Microtech is just, they do grind their knives pretty thin. You know, the company has kind of steered off the path that I wish they followed recently, so I haven't really been loving them as much. Haven't really cared about this knife as much recently, but it is a cool knife. It's a quality knife. out the side automatic. I think these are like $260, something about that. They filter in and out of stock. But yeah, really good looking knife, by the way, too. Next up is the American Blade Works. This is the Model 1 V6. Picked this up at Blade Show. Really good looking knife. This is made basically in America, made in America. That's a big reason why I bought it. And it's like fully CNC machined, and it's only like $200 when I got this, which have a knife made in America with this quality for that cheap of a price is really good, and that really gives me hope for the future of American made knives, because right now it seems a lot easier to move to China, as we have seen with Microtech. But yeah, this knife, it's good. Flipper, there are some things that I'm not the biggest fan of. The ergos are decent for me. The heat treat on the 20CV, I haven't been that impressed with it, but it is thinly ground. And yeah, overall quality knife made in America. I'm a big fan of it. Now let's move on to my knife that I actually keep in my car, and I've kept in my car for like 2 years, and I've carried it like once in that time span. It's just there in case I forget my knife. This is the Hogue Ritter, made by Hogue, the Doug Ritter Mark 1 G2, I think that's the full name of it. These are very good on the value standpoint of things. I think they're like $160. You get 20 CV. Hogue has had some issues with heat treating on their 20 CV. This has always felt like middle of the road for me. It hasn't been that soft, but I haven't really been super impressed with it. Haven't really got that much use on it in general, but like that's what I can tell from sharpening it. But it's a really comfortable knife. I like it more than the Griptilian, and Hogue is just a company that I'm really impressed by, and I think that they can do a lot because they are making knives in America. They are still in that affordable range, that under 200 range, or around 150 to 250, and so I think they are Benchmade's main competitor in my opinion, and usually I'd say generally speaking I like Hogue's more than Benchmade. But yeah, Hogue Ritter right here. My other Hogue, let me pull that out. It's the Deca. I've had this knife for a while. Don't carry it that much. I did kind of use this as my go-to yard work knife for a little bit, and it did a good job. The 20 CV on this one is soft. I've sharpened this a lot, and it's just not very good. The Deca is a very lightweight knife. It's very slim as well, which I've kind of grown to learn that is not my choice. That's not my preference when it comes to a knife, to be thin and lightweight. I prefer it to be lighter and thinner, but not just ultra thin and ultra light like this one is. But yeah, the Hogue Ritter, it's still a solid knife made in America. Like I said, with Hogue, good build quality, does everything good, just nothing great. That's really kind of my general statement on the Deca. Now let's look at an Emerson. This is my only Emerson. This is the A100. I got this knife. It's kind of a different knife. You know, Emerson's, it's a really love them or hate them kind of crowd. I still don't really know where I fall with that, but I think I'm going to keep this just because Emerson's are kind of cool in my opinion. But the things that I don't like about this, it's a very short and stubby grind. This thing just doesn't cut that well. After my review and all this, I don't want to carry this knife just because I know I have knives that are just going to cut better and make my life easier. But it's got a super comfortable handle, just like no finger grooves or anything at all. Feels great. Overall, solid knife. Very simple in design. I think these are like $215. So it is a steep price point if you just look at the materials of this. But I feel like it's worth it to me, so a lot of people won't. But yeah, Emerson's, I just think they're kind of cool. I kind of like them because a lot of people don't. They're just kind of something in me that's like that. But yeah, Emerson A100. Next up is my Benchmade Griptilian. Had this knife for a really long time. One of my first knives, my first Benchmade. Used this thing a ton. Overall, the Griptilian is just a great knife. Mel Pardew actually recently died. So yeah, that was shocking. I didn't really know. I remember seeing old videos from Mel Pardew on YouTube. He had a ton of knowledge about knives. So I don't really know what to say any more about that. But yeah, Benchmade Griptilian, staple in the knife world, great knife. It's a classic. kind of like the PM2 from Spyderco. I mean, can't go wrong getting a Griptilian. And I mean, what are the prices on a Griptilian? Like I have no clue. In between 100 and 200, I'll give you that. Maybe closer to 200, I'd say. But I don't really remember that at all. This is my ProTech SBR, reground by Alex Steingraber right here, because ProTech doesn't like to grind their knives very thin. So yeah, I got this reground, designed by Les George. Cool little knife. Don't carry it that much just because it is pretty small. But yeah, it is pretty cool. Snappy little automatic. I think these are like that, around that 200 mark. ProTech's made in America. Another good company that I think can do a lot of good things. My only problem is their grinds are kind of inconsistent, like I saw with the Malibu, and they are all pretty thick behind the edge, which is just annoying, because this SBR was like 26 thousandths behind the edge from factory, and that's like a small little backup knife, so nobody needs a knife that thick. But anyway, let's move on to all of my Spydercos. So I have a ton of these. I really don't even know how many I have. But first is my very first nice knife. This is the PM2 in S35VN. Yeah, it's the PM2. I don't really know much to say about this. It's a good knife, but there are some things that I'd like more from it, like in the ergonomics category. It's not the best in that. Overall, I'd say it's just an okay, just kind of mid-tier Spyderco. But everyone loves the PM2. Can't go wrong getting one. But there are some other ones that I like more. Next, we have my Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. I did mod this one out because I accidentally scratched up the blade, so I did this acid etch finish on it. But yeah, the Lightweight, after getting a regular Para 3, I don't like it as much. Just feels off. There's only one washer. The balancing just doesn't feel as good. But it still is a solid knife. Para 3 Lightweight. I think these are on the cheaper end, kind of close to that 120 mark. Regular version comes in BD1 in steel. And the new version of the Para 3 Lightweight is actually, or I think it's coming out right about now. It's in the same colorway, the St. Nick's exclusive. This is the Native 5 you're seeing right here. The story with this one, I actually had one just like this a long time ago. I lost it at work. Still have no clue how I lost it, because I don't lose stuff very easy. I'm pretty good at keeping up with stuff. And I don't think anybody stole it. And it kind of annoys me when people lose something and they immediately jump on the, oh, somebody stole my knife train. But I don't know how I lost this knife. But anyway, I was pretty bummed about it. And my family got me one off eBay for Christmas that year. So I really like this knife. Honestly, don't carry it that much. I guess I'm afraid of losing it again. But yeah, really cool. Red and black. I like Cincinnati Reds, Louisville Cardinals. So this is my colorway. Looks really good, and I really like this knife. The Native is also a great knife. The lightweight version, I think, is going to be out in MagnaCut soon. So I'm probably going to pick that up just for giggles, because I want some more of that stuff. But next on the Spyderco list is the Sage 5 Lightweight. Really good knife. They're doing some exclusives finally in this, so hopefully some more people are picking it up that just didn't want S30V. But man, this like fit and finish on this from the Taiwan factory is great. I think these are that 120-ish mark. The regular Sage is like that 150, 160 mark. But really good knife. The Sage is just extremely comfortable, almost that perfect size for everyday carry. And this knife does not get as much love as I think it deserves. Now let's move on to the Manix. So the Manix is an awesome knife. I'll go ahead and pull out my Manix 2, or my Manix Lightweight here. The Manix is a great knife, one of Spyderco's best. Overall, I really love this blade shape. The ergonomics are great. I like this ball lock. It's really good, kind of like the Axis lock, except it has a coil spring in there that is a lot more durable and just pretty much won't break on you, while Omega springs do. I don't even want to get into that. They break for some people, but not for others. This is more durable though. The lightweight version, I usually carry this probably more in the summer when I'm wearing lighter weight like shorts. But it is a great knife, really good blade shape, comfortable, really good knife to sharpen too. Overall, the Manix, it's just one of Spyderco's best. And so yeah, I really like it. I got a lightweight and a regular, so that shows that I like the design. But now let's move on to the military. So the military is a knife that doesn't get much love because of knives like the PM2, but I love the military. It's awesome. This is my go-to hard use knife. It's actually a factory second. If you can see that notch right there. I cut in a choil for it, and I've hard used this pretty much the whole summer. Really put this thing through work. This S30V has held up great. This liner lock, it's one of the best out there. Just really strong, really secure lockup. A lot of people don't like the tip down. It doesn't bother me, but I guess, yeah, I don't really want to get in that argument. I think it's more comfortable than the PM2. I just don't carry it as much because it is so big. You know, when I use a knife, it is sometimes in front of other people. And one time I had a pair of 3 that I was carrying, and someone walked by me and they were like, whoa, big knife, because I guess they're used to saying box cutters or something. And I was like, man, if he only knew. But yeah, the military, it's a cool knife. It's awesome. One of Spyderco's best right here, and I really like it. And it was cool that I could get this for like $80. It was a factory second. I think these are close to $200 new. Next was my number 1 Spyderco on the list when I did my top 10 Spyderco video. That's my most popular video, the Gale Bradley 2. This knife, it's so good. The ergonomics, extremely comfortable, super thin behind the edge, M4 steel. A lot of people just don't like the liner lock, don't like the lock bar axis. It's not as fun to play with as a compression lock, but as a tool, this thing just gets the job done. Really enjoy using this knife, carrying this knife. I have other knives that are fun to play with, so I'll just play with those, and I'll just use this knife how it's meant to be used. These run about $170, which is a great deal for M4, and from the Taiwan plant, it's pretty good too. Now let's look at my smallest Spyderco. Actually, I have a bug, so I won't show that, but this is the Dragonfly. This is in K390. I kind of only just carry 1 knife now. So I used to carry 2 knives pretty much all the time, and this would always be my second knife. Probably carried this for like 6 months straight. And this thing is just super useful, very small, nice utility blade, super comfortable like this. But I just don't carry two knives as much anymore. So I haven't carried this in a little bit, but K390 is a cool steel. These Seki City Japan exclusives, or I don't know if they're exclusives, but the K390 with the blue FRN are cool. I like them. Dragonfly, good knife. If you like these little smaller knives, if you have legality issues, I'd suggest looking at a Dragonfly. Next is a very big size difference from the Dragonfly. This is the Native Chief. This knife, very similar to the military in the fact that it is very big, and I don't carry it as much just because of the size of it, but it's got this extremely long clip point blade. It's extremely effective. This native blade shape is so good. The S90V is an awesome steel, one of my favorites. Its carbon fiber is good too. Backlocks, staple, they just work good. Overall, Native Chief is a great knife. It just is on the big side, but if you like big knives, if you like Spydercos, you'll like this knife. And I think they're coming out with a lightweight version of that, I'm not really interested in it because I have a regular one. But for the people that might be, that is on their new releases. This one of my more recent ones, Spyderco Pair 3 in crew wear, and the black and purple combo looks really good. Crew wear is an awesome steel. I keep saying awesome and cool. I need to think of some different words. But good looking knife, very useful. Carried this for a couple months straight. Like the Pair 3 more than the PM2, more than the Pair 3 lightweight. So yeah, there it is. Now let's move on. This is also one of my favorite Spydercos, the Stretch, same kind of K390 with the blue FRN from Seki City, Japan. Really comfortable. K390 is an awesome, there I said it again, awesome. K390, fantastic steel, I'll go with that. It really holds an edge long, super fun to sharpen. Stretch is an awesome, I said it again, I can't stop. Stretch is a good knife. Now, on to the PM2. Oh, I kind of just gave it away. This is my newest Spyderco PM2 in crew wear. Natural micarta handle scales. This is the new updated one with these full metal liners. I like it. It does feel just kind of smoother than my original one. I don't know if it has to deal with the full metal liners, but it feels like a more expensive knife, if that makes any sense. Crew wear steel I loved with that Para 3, so I had to pick up some more of it. And these handles also look pretty good. I don't know if I showed this or not. I don't think I did, but here's the Spidey Chef. Spidey Chef is a good knife. It's going for the crowd that likes knives that are rust proof and likes knives that they can use, likes to use pocket knives in the kitchen, which I don't care about either. So I end up, this knife just becomes kind of meh to me, but the build quality is good. It's right around that, what is it? I think it's like $250 on the price point. It is a titanium frame lock from the Taichung plant. But yeah, Spidey Chef, if you like the design and you like the idea behind it, you'll love this knife. I just don't as much, but it still is a solid knife. Now, let's move on. Let me show this. This is actually something new got for Christmas. It's a Victorinox Spirit. It is a multi-tool. I have not used it yet just because I haven't found the use for it yet, but I have really just short fingernails. Sorry about that. But here's the main blade. I like it. I like Victorinox a lot. You know, Leatherman, they're cool. Never really owned one. But these Victorinox multi-tools, I've heard really good things about them. So I'm excited to get some use on this. I just wanted to show it off. No, it might not technically be a knife, but don't really care. So now we're going to move on to my budget knives. These, honestly, I might sound kind of snobby here when I say this. I'll just pull out my first one for show. I don't really carry these budget knives anymore. It's not that I'm too good to carry a $50 knife, but when I have $200 knives, when I have knives that I'm trying to review, I don't care about these knives, plain and simple. And so they just kind of sit here. I haven't carried these all year, so I'm just going to kind of fly through them. But this is the Civivi Backlash, thin behind the edge. I've gotten this from multiple people for Christmas gifts, just because it's cheap. You're going to be pretty consistent on the build quality on Civivis, and it is a good size knife. Here's the Elementum. Everyone likes the Elementum. Or I don't know. Backlash is Civivi's best in my opinion. This is on the smaller side, more of that gentlemanly knife. Even if you guys like that, I think that's just kind of a marketing gimmick. But Civivi Elementum. These are my CJRBs. This is a Centros that I modded out, splatter paint acid etch. I like to mod out budget knives because I can kind of use them to practice on. Haven't really been modding recently though, just because I'm not that good at it. But this is designed by Dylan Mallory. He's doing some cool stuff. Here is a mini feldspar from CJRB. All these are in D2 steel, I believe. That really good, that really soft, really brittle, chunky carbide D2 steel, that good stuff. Here's the Rampart. This thing's like 6 ounces. I carried this for like 2 weeks. Yeah, there it is. Here's another Centros, like this one. It's cool. I dyed these scales. Here is, this is called the Gobi. I don't know why I have so many CJRBs. Like, I was on a CJRB kick for a little bit. I bought like 5 of them. I could have bought like one like $300 knife. But yeah, I was into CJRBs. Here is a Bokeh Strike. This knife, these Bokeh automatics, man. Blade HQ. They constantly talk about how good they are in their videos, or at least when I would watch their videos. But man, they are not good. All of them have fit and finish issues that I've held. Kershaw Leak, probably one of my favorite budget knives. Made in America, at least that's what it says. Never know when it comes to Kershaw and ZT. I assumed assembled in America. But, you know, classic knife, classic design. The Leak is just a good knife designed by Ken Onion. Now let's do this buck here that I practice sharpening with. No clue the name, but you know, buck knives, they just work. They're good, lightweight, or most of them are lightweight, I assume durable. Here was like my first knife that I actually carried. This is cool. I carried this for probably like a whole summer, and this knife is not good at all. Like, I generally dislike this knife, but it was like I have no clue why I bought it either. But it was the first knife that I carried, and I don't know. It's just kind of special, I guess. I think I might cry over it. But it's like uncomfortable to open. It's got a very sharp thumb stud. I used to think all pocket clips were just extremely tight because this one is like absurdly tight. Yeah, it's a SOG. What is this? The SOG Salute. The ergonomics, I don't know who designed this, but like they just got like this metal frame sticking out here that just pinches you in every possible way. But shout out to them. Good design feature if you want to, you know, like hammer something. Use your SOG Salute. Now I got a Bokeh Kalashnikov. Practice sharpening with this thing a ton. Doesn't really get sharp. Oz8, that specialty steel right there. Like the grind starts here. It just like doesn't get thin at all. But yeah, Bokeh Kalashnikov, man. Blade HQ, I wonder how many of these things they've sold just from overhyping them on their YouTube videos. If you got one and it's good quality, good for you. But mine is just bad because my dad has one and it's like, it's pretty good. Like, the fit and finish is a lot better than this one. And so, I don't know, there's that. But yeah, Bokeh, they're just inconsistent. Now let's look at another SOG. This is an assisted. The SOG Zoom. It's a button lock assisted. This thing like fires out extremely fast. All the fidgeters would love that. But the ergonomics on this, they cut out a notch in the handle for the thumb stud to go. And yeah, that's like right where your pointer finger wants to go. So that's not comfortable. This knife really just isn't comfortable. But you know, we all start somewhere. I don't want to seem like I'm making fun of these small, like these budget knives, even though I'm completely making fun of these budget knives. We all start somewhere. If it wasn't for these knives, I wouldn't have any of these type of knives. So there's that. Don't feel bad if you got these. I'm going to keep them, and then I'll be able to do this kind of thing each year and look back on them. And then the next one, oh, I forgot about these, my Balisong. So I haven't been into Balisong flipping in a while. I just really get in and out of the hobby. But this is like my go-to flipper if I'm just like chilling or something. This is the Squid Industries Squid Trainer. I think it's the version 3.5, but flips really well, really smooth. It's the, I think they're called Zen pins. I might just be making that up, but basically pin construction right here. It doesn't have the like pin in the blade there. So that is cool. It flips good, sounds cool, really like it. Can't really do this on camera because I'll just bump everything. But yeah, there's that. This is my first Balisong that I actually would carry. I got like some type of, I think I got Flitz polish on this blade. But this is the Benchmade 51. Good Balisong to carry. I really like it. It's nice, yeah. It's really lightweight, so it's kind of not the best to flip, but it is still a good Bally. And I'm looking over here at knives that I forgot to completely show, my traditionals. I have two, so shout out to you if you stayed to the end of this video. Kind of want to show these earlier, but here are my two GECs. This is the, I'm going to guess at these names. At the numbers, I think this is a 63. I know this is a 47. This is the Viper, the sway back pattern. I think it's a 47, not positive. But the sway back design is cool. I really like it. Pretty big knife. This one, I originally thought I didn't like this one as much, so I got this one and I liked it more. But I like this one probably more just because I don't need the extra blade length that comes with this, and I just think it's cool. It feels really good, that short Wharncliffe blade. I like these. I just like the construction of a split back whittler because you have one spring here that you have one spring in total that's split down the middle that controls these two back blades, and then this main blade, which is just a really cool design. GEC's fit and finish is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about these knives that I just can't figure out is they don't sharpen up good. Like I will just sharpen these, focus, hold my angle good, and it just won't be sharp. And then I'm like, maybe it's just me tonight, but then I'll sharpen another knife and it'll sharpen up completely fine, deburr fine, and come up with a really good edge. So I don't know if the heat treat on these are bad. The only thing I could think is maybe this Wharncliffe is slightly recurved, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe just the tip is a little bit lower, but maybe I'm not completely hitting the edge. I don't know. But overall, GEC makes some cool traditionals. If I'm ever going to buy a traditional, it's going to be from GEC. These just look so good as knives. I usually carry this in this Northwoods case. But, yeah, or not Northwoods, knife ship free leather slip here. But really cool knives. Traditionals, I haven't carried them in a while, but man, they look good. I like the old stuff too. Here's a Mora. I think I got this for free. I did use one of these, like one of these Mora 511s a lot. This Scandi grind is nuts. Like, it's stupid sharp for how, like, this is like a $10 knife, and half the time you get these for free on Black Friday deals. This is a great little bushcraft knife. The quality on Mora, you just can't beat it for the price point. But yeah, that's all I got today. 30 minutes, I'm happy with that time. I kind of started doing a little description of every knife, and I didn't really do much on my Chris Reeve knives. But all of these are S35VN in titanium. This one has micarta with the bead blasted finish, mirror stonewash blade, all frame locks, thumb studs, made in the USA by Chris Reeve Knives. $375-ish, $450, $450. So yeah, that's all I got today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the collection video. Sorry that it gets repetitive just going through all these knives, but I was happy with me being able to do this in 30-ish minutes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We hit 2,000 subscribers, which makes me happy. So thank you to all the people who have subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next one.